Yeah, I'm gonna have to bail at like 8:45.
No problem, man.
That's
No problem.
okay.
Busy morning. We'll see how long this takes us. We got part two. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to America's favorite quality of life improvement podcast, The Caliber Corner. We are on season 5, episode number 254, part 2, the firearms that Hollywood made famous. There's a lot of firearms, real and fictitious, from the movies that we did not get a chance to take a look at last week. So hopefully we're going to talk about them this week. There's a couple that we just didn't get a chance to cover because I was a little bit time strapped. Got about an hour today, and we're going to go ahead and have a little bit of fun. Real quick, little shout out to Chris from the 740. He sent me a sticker. I've also got one for Defense Dad. Get over there and subscribe to Chris from the 740's channel. His channel's blowing up right now. He's testing a lot of awesome gear in actual competitive, conditions, and also does some really good range tests. He's also a really cool dude, so make sure you check out his channel. Get over there, like, and subscribe. Yeah, Tacos and French Fries says Heat has so many iconic firearms, and I know we had the Galil, we had the little short Colt that oh god, what's his name carries? I'm totally drawing a blank right now. The guy from Top Gun and stuff. It'll Val Kilmer carries in that movie. Good stuff, good stuff. Before we do any of that, let's go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I've got a bunch of tabs ready to go to share with you some of the most iconic firearms that I remember from my childhood. And AWAG, we will start up with you. So, AWAG, I hear you have not been very busy lately.
Oh, that's a total lie. I've been so busy at work.
I know.
Goodness, it's not even funny.
How many hours a week do you think you work? Be honest with me. Be honest. In a week, how many hours are you working?
60 to 65.
Oh my God. This guy's like he's like 21, 22 years old. He can do that kind of thing, Yeah. Oh man. So what's going on these days, AWAG? What's new in your world?
Working. Lots and lots of working, lots and lots of sleeping, lots and lots of working out. That's about it. I really haven't been doing a whole bunch of gun stuff lately.
Yeah. That's all right, man. Don't worry about it. You get out there when you can, and it's always fun checking out the channel. Appreciate you being here. You've been with us for 5 years now, which has been awesome. So it's good having you with us. We did turn 5, I think, back in July or something. I can't remember, June or July. I remember Squid sent me the actual date for it. So it's been a good run. We're going to kind of try to keep things going as long as I can keep coming up with topics. So, all right. Also joining us, we got Single Shot. Single Shot, are you home today or are you on the road? What's going on, brother?
No, sir. I am on the road. Presently headed back out to Muncie, Indiana.
And, oh yeah, you were just there last week, weren't you, or 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. It's a dedicated route. So
okay.
I am on the way for that. And I am officially retired.
What?
Oh, congratulations.
You didn't let us have a party for you and stuff. We were going to get a cake and we were going to get you some Geritol. Hey, congratulations, man. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm still going to work for my boss for a while because I can still earn, a pretty good chunk of change along with my retirement check.
Oh yeah. I know they let you do that. So
19th or the 26th. I think it's the 19th. I'll get my first check. So
sweet.
It's relaxed time. 66 years old, and I am gonna just cruise now. So as long as I can keep passing my DOT physicals, I can still keep driving. And
when that time comes that you can't just go out in your backyard and just go shoot all day, seriously, just
that's
go have
right.
fun, just tune your rifles, go out, do some hunting, just do some nature walks.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe take up painting, do some landscaping scenes. It's the world is your oyster. Single Shot. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, good deal.
I've got plenty to keep me busy. A lot of folks they always say, if you retire, you're gonna be bored. You're gonna do this. You're gonna do it.
No,
man, I haven't even set up my ham radio shack yet at the place. So I've got plenty to keep me busy.
Oh, I know. My dad's retired. I think he's just as busy now as he was before he retired. He's always got stuff going.
Yeah.
People need help with things and stuff, and Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, congratulations. We're happy for you. Good deal.
I've got to make a trip over to Vermont there this next time that I'm home, if I've got the cash here to do it. I've got to restock on some lead.
Oh, yeah.
I am out.
It's time to do so.
Out. So
Awesome.
I'm going to have that to do to keep myself busy, and these idiots insist on running right around my right side. People, you're going to get killed doing that one of these days.
Passing on the right side. It's not illegal as long as they're not doing it on the shoulder of the road. I mean,
I've got my turn signal on to move over.
Okay.
And they've got to beat the signal.
Yeah.
They got to get underfoot, and it irritates me to no end when they do that.
Oh yeah.
You say they got to beat the signal? You mean the traffic signal?
No, the signal on his truck as he's getting over.
Okay, because if they're passing you on either side to beat the traffic signal, that's because if they get behind you at the red light, you're going to take like 4 or 5 weeks to get up to 5 miles an hour. So
I don't have quite that problem, Squib. But good morning to you. Good morning, Foos, and good to see you guys. Hillbilly up.
Right on. All right, let's go ahead and move on down to Squibliff. Squibliff, good morning. How you doing today, sir?
Coming to you live from the factory again.
Absolutely. Somebody's got to keep America running. Somebody's got to stay. You and AWAG single-handedly keep this country going. So
yeah, well, AWAG can sit there and bellyache, but this old dog is putting in more hours than that young punk. So
oh my god. We need to have you need to get your paid. Both of you need to get your paychecks. Just blank out the amount you get paid. Just put the hours, the hourly stats, and we'll have a comparison to see who's the harder working individual.
Squib, you're lucky that I'm not working today.
See, AWAG's got time to work 65 hours a week and go to the range and work out, something none of us do. I mean, this guy, seriously, you can't touch this in the words of MC Hammer. I mean, seriously, AWAG's got you one up, I think. So, but that's okay.
He might have me one up on what he does on his off time. Yeah, I haven't put a lot of time into other stuff, but this sort of thing happens, and sometimes you got to strike while the iron's hot.
Absolutely, man. That's right. Got to take advantage of it. So guys, make sure you check out the Squibliff channel. Lots of good stuff, and the Squibload channel, and all the Squibi that are out there. The 5 or 6 channels that Squib's running out there somewhere on the dark web. Lots of good content for you. So, all right. Also joining us, we got Hillbilly Up, American Hillbilly. How's Missouri treating you this morning? Just got to find the mute button.
Muted.
He said he had to step away for a minute. He's probably getting his coffee. We'll come back to him. Foos, how's Missouri treating you?
It's going.
It's going. All right, what you been up to these days? You competing or what? You been staying busy on the competitive pistol shooting scene or what?
I'm done for the year.
Okay.
Shot nationals a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Got 39th. I shot like complete horse shit. Sorry for the language, but
it happens. It happens. It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So.
Well, now that you're done, since I got you here, are you free next Saturday? I got a really cool idea for a topic, and I kind of want you to kind of be the go-to point person on it. You down for that? Or are you busy next Saturday?
Saturday the 5th. I should be free.
Okay, we'll see, because otherwise I'll have to have a backup topic, but we'll talk about it after the show. But since I got you here. So you're staying busy. Who's have you picked up any cool firearms lately? You bought anything new lately? We haven't asked about that.
So I picked up Gen 5 17.
Oh yeah, your G17 Gen 5. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it. I went and I got it milled for an SRO.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
SRO sitting on it.
How much would that cost?
What, the milling?
Mm-hmm.
$90.
So I mean, yeah, it would have cost you what, about $100 more, about $650 to go with a milled G5 G17, right? They about $649.
Well, so if you get an MOS, the first thing you need to do is throw that MOS plate away and buy a different MOS plate. The Glock MOS plates are trash. And because the Glock MOS plates are made to be like, hey, this plate could fit on this or this or this or this optic. Well, yeah, it can, but all of the supporting
hardware, base plate.
Well, the only thing that's holding the sight onto the gun are the 2 screws that you're mounting it with.
Okay.
Well, what it is, it's you need to get plates that have the correct mounting pins for it, that basically lugs, So all the stress are on the lugs and are on the plate and not on the screws that snap. So
Good point.
The guy who does it, Stonebridge Gunworks. The reason I got the USPSA deal because I shoot with him. I've spent I don't know how many thousands upon thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it's about time you get a 10% off coupon, right?
So basically, whenever he does SROs and whenever he does optics cuts, is he has everything printed out. So I could actually remove the screws and fire this gun, and the sights stay on it. Like, he makes sure that it has full recoil lugs, everything that is needed to hold that optic in place is there, and all the screws do is make sure the thing doesn't fly off. So there's zero stress on the screws, which I don't know if you guys, have ever Googled like things going wrong with optics, and you always see screws sheared off.
Okay.
Because they're taking too much force. Screws are not made to take a lateral force.
Constant. Do you still have your rear sight on it also? Or are you able to maintain the rear sight?
No, it's built off.
Okay, I didn't know if there was enough room there or not. So okay.
No, there absolutely is room. It was my choice because I wasn't going to use it for a duty gun. I'm actually getting another G17.
Oh,
thick with irons.
Yeah.
Actually, that's on its way here. I bought a certificate that another competitor up here won from a match. So I'm getting another G17 for $400.
Oh, wow. Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I paid well, I don't remember what I paid for mine. I know I paid under $500. I think I paid $475 when most places are charging $550, but still, yeah. Yeah. Good all around pistol, regardless of what people say. So, yeah.
Yeah. So basically he took and he bought it, or he picked up the Glock certificate off of a prize table, and he doesn't shoot it. He was talking about selling. I'm like, oh, how much? He's like, I don't know. And shot a number. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So I bought it, and so I'm going to have another Glock 17 coming my way.
That's good. That's good. Hey, magazine compatibility with the other one, holster compatibility. You really can't go wrong. So that's good.
Yeah. Cool. So I've been playing around with that in USPSA for about 2 weeks now. Have been doing a little dry fire. I am learning several things with it already. So, I know I cannot pull the trigger near as fast on that 5-pound stock Glock trigger as I can on my CZs.
Well, you shouldn't, because your CZ triggers are like those are perfection, right? They're just like, I mean, for what the time you put into those and the wear that they have on them and
So I'm going from a 1 pound 8-ounce single action trigger to a I don't know, probably 5.5.
I think they're between 4.5 and 5.5. I think they have like a 1 pound variance just because of the tolerances and stuff. So yeah, not bad. Cool.
So,
all right. Well, let's finish introductions here. Hillbilly up, American Hillbilly. Are you with us or what? You good? There he is.
Yeah, buddy. How you doing this morning?
We're doing okay. I asked this question earlier. You might have been getting a cup of coffee. How's Missouri treating you today? Is it good?
Oh, yeah.
Good deal. What you been up to these days, man? You got some new videos coming out?
Oh, yeah.
What's fun?
Yeah, we just did a short with some pumpkins. We just got that out. And then later on today, got a full featured video with what has to do with carving pumpkins. And then after Halloween's over, how to dispose of them and all that stuff, so...
Is this going to generate some pumpkin mash so you can make some pumpkin spice lattes, kind of like the guacamole, where you made guacamole with a Glock? You could do some pumpkin. It'd be cool if you could get a PSL rifle and make pumpkin spice latte PSL to drink with, like shoot the pumpkin and harvest the mashed pumpkin and add that to your drink. And I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm just making stupid stuff up today, so that's all right. Well, it's good having you here, guys. Make sure you check out the American Hillbilly channel. Hillbilly up, good stuff. He's just my neighbor to the east over there, so. Cool. Let's see, what do we got here? Tim Allen is out there. He goes, I'm at episode number 213 going backwards from the current time and at 57 episodes going from the beginning. We have one missing episode that's over on the Unloaded Media channel, so make sure you guys check that out. That was one of the Reloading podcast. No, the 350 Legend podcast that unfortunately did not happen on my channel because I had a problem with my internet connection. It went out like 30 seconds before we had to go live, of course. So make sure you guys check out the back catalog with 5 seasons of Caliber Corner. That's enough to keep you entertained for probably 500 hours of watch time, you know. So if you really want to just put it up on your TV and just sit around with the family and have a good time, it's usually G-rated until Foose shows up, and then he takes it up to PG, you know. So you may hear the occasional BS word that gets thrown out there, but we try to go out of our way to make sure that this show is family friendly, have a good time, just sit around, take it easy, and so on. To address a concern, I had noticed somebody had posted a comment, I think over on Never Enough Ammo's channel. It's like a Trigger Time episode. Somebody had said, like, what happened to Travis B11? Where's Travis B11? So I go to bed at like 9 o'clock, right? Those guys start up at like 9 and go till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning or later. I love Honda. I love Matt. Those guys are great. And I love going on their shows, but I usually do that more in the summertime or when I'm on break. The older I get, the harder it is for me to function on 5 or 6 hours of sleep consistently. I did that for years when I was on their podcast, and I'm not avoiding them. I just go to bed at 9 o'clock. I'm tired, man. I wake up at 5:30. I've got a very busy day. So when I get home at 7, 8, 9, man, I unwind and go to bed. So that's kind of what's been going on. And I want to get back on Matt's show and Honda's show and stuff. I hate cutting myself short on sleep because I don't think I'm doing due justice to my clientele during the day. So that's why I like to be well rested. I don't want to be cranky or having issues functioning. So I'm getting old. That's what it comes down to. So I'm getting old. What else we got out there? Adam1 says, I sent you an email showing some hard hours worked in a single week doing manual labor. No office work or sitting in a vehicle driving. In other words, a man's job. Well, I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to pilot a truck down Interstate 80 in the middle of February in Nebraska. I think that's going to take some focus. But Adam, I'm not trying to downplay what you do for hard work and hard labor. You might give AWAG and Squib Lift a run for the money. So Tim Allen says, definitely fun to listen to while mowing and doing other yard work or while I'm at the restaurant in the morning. So what got me started on the podcast, and then we'll get into our topic. I know people are dying to see what we're going to talk about. I had bought my first house only about 7 or 8 years ago, and it needed to be painted inside, needed painting. So I put on the Daily Gun Show with G-Webs, and I put on the Early Watch, okay, with Jimmy and Tony. And I listened to those guys, like, because I bought my house like December 26th, and I had Christmas vacation to do all the work. And I would just paint. I would put on their podcast for hours, and it would just, when you've got like 8 rooms to paint and a basement, it takes time, you know, especially if you want to do a good job at it, the edging and all that stuff. And I thought, this is kind of cool. Maybe I want to do something like this. And I talked to Night Strike, and he had me on Hit or Miss Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock. And then that got me comfortable with just being in front of an audience and a camera and being able to keep the dialogue moving and manage a podcast, which in itself is an interesting little creature. And then after that, I just decided to start going live. I don't even know where this is all coming from, but that's why I do what I do. I blame those guys. I blame G-Webs and Tony and Jimmy and Night Strike and all those other guys that were bringing me, and Matt, of course, having me on the Never Enough Ammo podcast and stuff. So anyway, let's get into the topics. Let's give a little shout out there. We've got R4 Mississippi Thunder out there. Hillbilly Ups out there, Tactical Fud. That bearded guy said, Travis, you're still young. I said I envy him because I'm not retired yet. Tim Allen is out there also. Tacos and French fries. Tim S is watching. Lots of Tims in the house today. Tommy Gun's out there. Tactical Fud's watching today. M. Gabriel chimed in earlier. Gizzard Gary's out there. G-Web's in the house. G-Web's the person I blame for my podcast addiction. Thank you, G. AWAG 1000's playing double duty. Chris Winzet's out there also. Ozzy Orsborn in the house. Tony York is watching. Irish Wrist Watchers watching today also. Oh, these tongue-tied. I'm always trying to get these pronounced properly in the morning. Mountain View's out there also. Lots of good stuff. So we're at part 2 now, all right? So the guns that Hollywood made famous. Okay, Y&H is also out there too. So M. Gabriel says, yeah, NEA is where I ran into this crew. And what's funny is sometimes I'll go watch just another random podcast like Chris from the 740, and there's a whole other community of gun owners out there, names I've never seen before watching his podcast. I mean, some connection to things like the Reloader Network and stuff, but it's just amazing how it's like there's these like little planets of podcasts out there, and some of us never ever actually get to meet each other, and some of these channels are big, and you don't ever get a chance to find them, so there's always lots of good stuff out there for you. Bear Paw's out there too. All right, so I'm going to go and start this one up where there's going to be a lot of tabs you guys are going to see. And then you guys, if you can think of one you want to share, we'll just kind of round robin and stuff. But I want to get this one out there because I didn't get a chance to get it out last time. So one of the most iconic guns that I remember made from an actual firearm from the movies when I was a kid. I was either 9 or 10 years old when RoboCop came out. And for me, it's all about the Auto 9. I mean, this thing was just seeing him shooting it in the range and stuff. I had no idea what it was. I wasn't good with guns at that point, so I didn't really know like what the gun, what it came from and so on. So the RoboCop Auto 9, it was a select fire. It's based off the Beretta 93R machine pistol. What's interesting about it is there's this little lug right here that on the machine pistol itself, it has a little handle that comes off on it. And I'll show you guys the machine pistol here in a little bit. But yeah, definitely the RoboCop gun was one of those cool. I don't ever remember seeing like a 3-shot burst pistol. I just thought that thing was amazing. So AWAG, what do you think, man? The Auto 9, is that a good choice? Most iconic Hollywood guns?
Yeah. It's such a cool gun. I like that the 3-round burst, everything on it. And so cool thing about the
30-round mags, according to the fandom, you know? Yeah.
So according, the 93R has an interesting thing about the frame that separates it from the regular like M9 is that the trigger guard is longer. So what you do with the 93R is they have a vertical foregrip on the 93R, and you can put your thumb through the trigger guard while having your index finger work the trigger.
Here we go, like this guy right here.
Yep, just like that.
So that's how the grip works on the front of it. I was always kind of curious. I guess I never noticed it in Call of Duty because that's one of the places where you can actually shoot one of these things. So you put your thumb through it because it's got a longer trigger guard. Okay. And then you grip the handle and that keeps it down when you're pulling trigger.
Yes.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I highly, I'm probably going to suggest another pistol that looks very similar to the, oh crap, what is the RoboCop gun again?
That's the Auto 9.
The Auto 9. It looks very similar, and that is the Glock 17 from the, oh goodness, what's the zombie movies that are way over the top?
You mean like World War Z or
no. It's a series.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's the one where like a lot of the main characters get killed off like in the first 5 episodes or whatever.
It gives like Tomb Raider vibes. Why am I like Resident Evil? That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
It's a Glock. Okay. Resident Evil Apocalypse had a Glock 17 that's compensated, and the thing is like ultra long. There it is. Lower 3 down on the left hand
side. Resident Evil, the final. There you go. All right. Oh, I like it. They just slide it on the pick rail.
Yeah. That looks like a Hudson.
No, the Hudson looks like this. So there we go. It's a movie prop. So is that'd be a Gen 4, wouldn't it? Because it looks like it's got the pin in the back to put
it might be a Gen 3.
Gen 3 old, possibly.
They're old pistols.
There you go. That's one I didn't even think about. That is freaking sweet, man. Very cool. You guys can see it. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and stop sharing that tab, and we'll kind of bring it back. So that was one I wanted to get out there was the RoboCop Auto 9. And you can get those as prop guns and 3D printed guns. Heck, you probably print one yourself if you get the instructions online. You can get them on eBay and Etsy and stuff like that. So I always thought that'd be kind of sweet. I had a squirt gun when I was a kid. It was blaze orange, but it was exactly this. It was a duplicate of the Auto 9. Just bought it like in a dime store when I was a kid. The thing was freaking awesome. So Squib, we're going to start off with you. Why don't you throw one out there? What's one of your most iconic Hollywood guns that you can think of? If I have the tab up on it, I'll just bring it up anyway, because there's a good chance we're going to have some spillover here. So what do you think?
I didn't do my homework.
It doesn't. No. I didn't ask you guys to. I just thought I got a bunch of them, but you guys will probably, yeah.
You know, I was actually thinking of something after the last podcast, and then I'm just drawing a total blank on that one. Maybe skip around the room and come back to me on that one.
No,
I will say this though. When I was a kid watching RoboCop, the 2 things though that struck me about the Auto 9 is, one, it's physically impossible to get enough ammunition to feed that thing as many shots as he got out of a magazine.
He had 30-round mags according to the fandom. It had 30.
Right, but if you look, he had flush fit mags. He didn't have the. He didn't have the
like a +2 or +3.
on that one. There's
the gun was not 9mm. It was a 22 mag.
22 mag, yeah.
So you can fit 30 rounds.
Was the Auto 9 supposed to be 22 mag in the movie?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, I was like, was it? Oh, hell, like I can't even remember.
If it was a 22 Magnum, I don't think it would have that muzzle flash, etc. So,
well,
and with that big heavy slide, would it really cycle it? So,
okay.
All I'm saying is,
so I had a Keltec PMR 30. You should see the fireballs that come off.
Yeah. I shot mine without my ear pro on one time, and it sounded like I shot an AR-15.
My God.
I was like, I got to hear this thing.
Yeah, I shot G-Web's PMR 30, and I thought it was really cool that it's such a lightweight gun. It looks like a ray gun. The sights on it are pretty good, and that sort of thing. But I didn't get a fireball off of it or anything.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Oh man, good stuff. Yes, a Hillbilly Up. Wisdom of the day. If you want a cool gun from Hollywood, just name it Auto something. Auto 9, Auto Mag. Just put that in front of it, or put an X after the name. That's definitely going to make it popular. So, oh man, no. So, AWAG, I can't remember. Did you mention one or not? I'm kind of slow here this morning. Did you mention the Hollywood gun?
The Resident Evil.
The Resident Evil gun. Okay, gotcha. All right. So if you don't have one, we'll skip you because I've got plenty of tabs open to share today. Single shot. Can you think of another awesome Hollywood movie gun that you did mention last week? Something that came up that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
I still like my minigun. That is one awesome piece of equipment right there.
Are you talking about from Predator or what?
Yep.
Oh, the Predator minigun. I don't have that one up right now. So that was the electric cannon, right?
I can talk about that because I used to work on those.
So
people are like, what's your skilled trade? It's like, well, I used to rebuild miniguns.
So that one was actually chambered in 308 for Predator, right? A lot of people think it was a 5.56 and it wasn't.
No.
Oh, that was the one that Jesse Ventura carried. Yeah. Here, I'll show you guys.
M60.
You've never seen it before. What's that?
M60.
No, Bill Duke carried an M60 E3. That's the same thing. I toted around.
So did I.
Yeah, those things are they're pretty cool. But there's my iconic gun, the M60 E3.
So,
but the minigun, they did make one in 5.56, but the military only tested it. They didn't put it into service. And everybody says, oh, it's an M134. It is not an M134. For the millionth time, it is a GAU 2B. It is a GAU 2B.
Yeah, because the fandom, which is that's always a bunch of gun experts, they call it the M134 just for the record. So, because the
M134 exists, but the movie guns you're seeing from the 80s and the early 90s, they're GAU 2B.
Okay.
Later, they changed the clutch on the back, and they put flash suppressors at the end of the barrels, and it became the GAU 17. But the M134 does exist, but the minigun in the classic sense, which, by the way, nobody ever called it a mini. Well, at least we never did. You just said I called it a GAU or GAU 2 or something. I never heard the term minigun until I watched the movie Terminator 2 and that sort of thing. I'm like, what the hell is he talking about? But maybe it's an Air Force term because the Air Force and the Army used it extensively in Vietnam. If you ever heard of Puff the Magic Dragon, that's where they took a C-47, which is a militarized DC-3, and they put 4 GAU 2s in the side of it, and this thing would just orbit around and just bank at an angle.
Hercules gunship, is that what they called it?
No, the Hercules is the C-130. That's even bigger.
Oh, okay.
So they took an old World War II transport plane. Paratroopers used to jump out of them. They put a ton of ammo in this thing and 4 GAUs out one side, and just banked on and just did an orbit around target, and it just every 5th round is a tracer, and it looks like laser beams just raining down on the target, and it just shreds everything.
Oh man, yeah.
And the thing
that's what I call a budget-friendly repurpose right there. So
you honestly would think that we would want as many of these things as possible. The aircrew couldn't stand these things. We did not like them. We didn't like
fight with us. If you had 12 of those things circling over a battle zone and you just rained on it, I mean, my God. Nobody would want to fight us. They'd be like, we're not going to go step out on the battlefield with those things.
It shreds everything. But in a big fixed-wing aircraft with lots of fuel and space and cargo capacity, stuff like that, it's great. On a helicopter, not so much. The support equipment it takes to make this thing work weighs so much. There's no way Jesse could have carried it for one. The gun is not that heavy. I mean, I wish I had the picture here on my phone where I could screen. I've actually held it just like Jesse. It's not hard to hold. It isn't. It's not what people would think. But all of the equipment that makes that work, you've got to mount it to a helicopter. You've got to have a 28-volt power supply. I mean, if you put 4,000 rounds on an aircraft to keep the gun running for a matter of minutes, it's a lot of weight, and that's weight the aircraft could be using to carry something else. So for a smaller aircraft, even though you can mount it on there, it's a trade-off. You really are trading a lot because that ammo weighs so much, and all the equipment weighs so much, and it's easy to jam. You've got to tell these aircrew guys all the time, don't jerk the trigger so fast, because it's actually got guns high and guns low. So you pull the trigger, I think it was a right trigger. It's been a long time, but you pull the right trigger and you count 1, 2, 3. Then you pull the left trigger, 1, 2, 3. At that point, you're doing 42 rounds a second.
Yeah.
If you let off both triggers, it could jam. So you actually have to let off the left trigger, 1, 2, 3. Then let off the right trigger, and then it's going to spin down and stop. So if these guys are like trying to go guns high right off the bat instead of going guns low and then building up the guns high, or if they just shut the whole thing down, there's a chance it could jam. In which case, it's now you just got all this extra weight on the aircraft, and you know
can't do anything with it.
Useless. Right. So it's not what everybody thinks it is. I mean, it'd be pretty cool for somebody to shoot one if they had it mounted on something, or you could hold one if you had all the equipment on behind you on a trailer to shoot it and say, hey, I did this or whatever. There's videos of people shooting these things. So there must be places you can go to rent them. But as cool as it is, it really isn't as effective as some people would think. We would rather take 50 cals out on the aircraft than the miniguns, even though they have a slower rate of fire. It's the best darn door opener you're ever going to use.
Oh, it's gonna, I mean, I'm just thinking of penetration through armor and stuff too.
You guys ever heard of an A-130?
I'm not good with my planes and jets. I know of a few, but no.
I had them at Moody Air Force Base here in South Georgia. That's a C-130, but it's equipped with a 105 millimeter howitzer and a few Meduses on it. I think it's got some other armament as well.
God.
But,
It's got a 105. It's got some 40 millimeter Bofors cannons and a 20 millimeter Gatling gun. Later, they went to the 25 millimeter Gatling gun, and I can't remember if they got rid of the Bofors or improved them or whatnot. It evolved since Vietnam. In Vietnam, they repurposed old piston cargo planes with miniguns because they could, that was the sort of weight they could carry. A C-130 is much bigger and can carry much more because it's a turboprop. And really, what it comes down to, it isn't so much all the guns sticking out the side. People think that it's the sensors it carries. If it can see the target in the dark, it can see the heat signature, and it can tell the difference between one thing and another or whatnot, and it can accurately target that. It can actually make adjustments so that even though the aircraft is moving and the target's moving stuff, it can still engage the target. That's more effective than how many guns are sticking out the side. And it's just it's a matter of understanding how the whole thing works.
Yep. No, them things were awesome. I could hear them guys out practicing quite often, and boy, I'll tell you what, they let that stuff rip loose. You could really feel it. You almost feel the walls rattling when that thing went off.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and let's continue the discussion here. Squib lift, you got one you can throw out there? Anything coming to mind now that we've got you thinking guns?
I ran my mouth about the Gao 2B. So there's my, I guess, I'm just going to go ahead and piggyback off of single shot there. Just because, from time to time, you guys can talk about something that I did in the military. And even though I don't remember everything, I mean, it's been a long time, that stuff does, it's kind of nice to talk about it again. A lot of people would think that working on the helicopters was kind of boring. And at first I was thinking that when, they're giving all of our assignments and I wanted to work on Harriers and stuff like that. You're going to go to helicopters. I'm like, what? And then, once you get to hang out the side of a helicopter shooting machine guns, you're going, yeah, this is great. So yeah. And, and my wife at first, she would watch movies with me, right? And I'd be pointing out all the gun mistakes. And she'd be like, can you just shut up and enjoy the movie? Now she's there pointing out the mistakes. And then I remember we were watching some movie and the guy said M1, and she goes, he means M1 carbine, not M1 Garand, right? And I just look up at the sky, and I just clench my fist and I go, "Thank you." So I mean, don't get me wrong. If the movies, if it's for entertainment, it's for entertainment. That's really what it's meant to be. Some people actually believe this stuff in the movies. It's fun to talk about these things. It's kind of interesting to talk about how they work in real life, or talk about how they built the prop gun and stuff like that. But for the people out there that come onto social media and they're, air quotes around the experts, and they're saying that, like the RoboCop gun is real, or that sort of thing, it's kind of like
keyboard commando training. Yep.
Yeah. So it's kind of fun to talk about this stuff, and there's plenty of people who have actually used some of this stuff in real life. It'd be nice if we had somebody on the panel who was like a millionaire who had a collection of these really rare guns that you see in the movies, and like, yeah. If you got like an FG-42, I would,
Wait, everyone doesn't have an FG-42?
What's an FG-42? I no idea. What?
It's a German World War II.
Okay.
Fallschirmjäger 42. But that's something, you would see a lot of this stuff though in some of those war movies too. And some of it is not unobtainium, and other stuff, it's like, even if you had the money to spend on it and you didn't mind spending on it, you'd probably want to lock it up in a vault because it's so expensive. So it's kind of fun to see some of this stuff used in movies.
They're like, hey, I had one of those. What are they doing with it? Hey, Foos, let's move on to you next. What would be an iconic firearm that you can think of that came from the movies that kind of caught your attention when you were little or now? Anything kind of what do you think?
The gun from Starship Troopers.
Yes. The rifle?
Yes.
Let's take a look at that because I completely forgot about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, those were pretty awesome, because it kind of reminded me of the Aliens Pulse Rifle, which we'll get to. That's the one that I think everybody wants. But yeah, the Morita Mark I rifle definitely looks like. I wonder if that inspired some of the Halo rifles, because it kind of looks like something from Halo. Here, we'll share the tab with people so the audience can see this here real quick. There you go. The Morita Mark I rifle. So was that built off of any existing firearm platform? It looks like it definitely has that Aliens vibe with the pump action on the bottom, and it kind of looks like that Tommy gun rear grip. But I mean, look at that. There is no room back there for that bullpup. For your arm or your hand. I mean, that thing would just be like, yeah, you can definitely tell it's a movie prop. I don't know what it was supposed to fire or what the ammo was for, but I do remember the Starship Troopers rifle. Those are pretty awesome. Yep. So it's built around a Ruger Mini 14 AC-556 with an underslung Ithaca 37 shotgun.
I was about to say, like if you watch the movie, the few times when they reload, the ammo's freaking probably bigger than the barrel.
Looks like they're shooting some giant, 450 Bushmaster through it. Looks like they got M60 muzzle brakes on them. Yep. Makes a nice little report out the front there. Oh, you can see that. Look at that. Okay, check this out. Here you go. You got some Mini 14 action in there, basically.
That's funny.
When they show some close-ups, it's basically just built around the action. Yeah.
What do they do with all of these afterwards?
Well, they'll go back to the movie prop houses, the companies that they lease them from or rent them from, because if you ever watch, Vickers Tactical does some of the guns from the movies, he'll go to the supply houses, and they just have a warehouse full of guns. And a lot of them will show up in one movie. They'll get used between many movies, like MP5s and stuff like that. But they'll show off like the guns from Sicario. They had two of the guns that were in Sicario. They had the just like the main two characters or main three characters from the movie. They had the Daniel Defense M4A1, which I replicated. MP5 that's carried in it, and by Benicio del Toro. Is that right? Yeah. And then also I think they had the Colt M4 that was also carried by one of the characters in it. So yeah, they just I think they go to because when you watch that video, all these guns are just hanging up on the wall. They have just the classic. They even showed off, I think, one of Dirty Harry's revolvers, because that was the prop house that the armorers that were in charge of it when they made their movies. Like this one company, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but Sandhills Media did an interview with one of the guys that works for him. And they've been around for 40 years or something like that, if not more, 30 or 40 years. So, and I think they changed names later on, but then those guns all got brought in by another company. So they do keep them on. And I know a lot of them probably sell at prop sales and stuff like that, because they'll sell movie props on eBay and things like that. All right, let me go ahead and continue. Let's see, Hillbilly Up. We didn't get to you yet. What would be another movie gun that would be something that kind of stands out to you? Did you have any on standby today? Because I know you mentioned a couple of them last week.
Yeah, I want to talk about one that I forgot to mention last week when I was talking about the Winchester Model 92s and stuff like that. Was the iconic Rifleman rifle.
Yep.
It was the 4440, and it would fire just by doing the lever action on it.
What movie was this from, though? What'd you say?
It's Rifleman.
Oh, the Rifleman. Yeah. And I used to watch that when I was a kid. It was on TBS on Sunday mornings. I'd sit there and watch it with my grandpa. So yeah.
And so I always thought that was a cool gun, but that was one thing that brought my love for lever actions and stuff. Like when I was talking last week about John Wayne and stuff like that.
Here, we can bring it up real quick and just show people what we're talking about. I got the tabs always on standby. So here we go. The Rifleman rifle. Yeah. That big old loop on there.
Yeah.
Did he not have another firearm on? He did not have a 6-shooter on his hip. He just solely relied on no backup gun.
No pistols.
Holy cow. The Rifleman repeater, the Winchester M1892. Is that what it was?
He never said he didn't know how to use one. He just didn't have a practical use for it.
Yeah.
Look at that trigger control. Kids, don't try this at home.
Don't try that.
Don't try this at home, kids. Please, for the love of God, please be careful. Never point a lever gun at yourself. I don't care if it's loaded or not. So, wow, that's awesome, man. Very good choice, man. That was one we didn't get a chance to mention last week either. So.
Yeah, and then I know somebody mentioned it in the side chat there and stuff, and we kind of talked about the dirty, hairy guns last week. But
yep.
That is another gun. Lever actions and long barrel revolvers.
Here we go.
That was just.
This was one for Tony out there. Watch 629 classic, 6.5 inch, 44 Magnum, 6 round. Yep.
And so my love for those two style of guns, definitely come from movies, and stuff like that. And still to today, I hate to say this, guys, but they're by far my pick over ARs, AKs, anything as far as love and enjoy shooting them was the long barrel revolvers and the
they are
lever actions.
One of my favorite guns that I've tested on the channel was the the Ruger. Oh, help me out here, guys. I'm drawing a blank. It was a 357 Magnum revolver. I'm totally drawing a blank.
It's not the Super Red Hawk. It's the SP 101, GP 100.
God, just an amazing fit my hand so well. It was like a laser beam, so accurate. Mine. Yeah, I got that GP 100. That's going to be on the list. I think my next gun that I purchase is going to have to be a revolver because I really want a GP 100. And they're not getting any cheaper. Rugers have gone up $50 to $100 in the last 3 years. Because if you ever watch my old videos, I've got the MSRPs that I show. And if you go check them now, it's like, wow, that gun went up $100. Yeah, they're not getting any cheaper. Even though that gun's been around for 20 years, It's just
that Ruger 3-screw. That Ruger 3-screw that I've got 44 Magnum's got a 10.5 inch barrel on it.
Yeah. Here we go. JH586. Oh yeah, you could easy. Oh, even the 6-inch barrel would be more than a velocity to go harvest a deer if you wanted to. That's another nice thing about those too. Depending on capacity limits on your state or whatnot, if you can do 5+1 in your firearm, you can Nebraska. You can hunt whatever you want as long as it generates enough energy to drop it so many yards.
That Model 29 is a hunting handgun. And the fact that it was in the movie made it popular. People wanted to buy it. Then they get it, and, they can't handle the recoil. They're, this is punishing or whatever. I don't know what ammo costs were back then. I imagine the ammo price probably wasn't so bad because you're not eating up ammo like a semi-auto would. So I heard that a lot of people went out of their way to buy these things. There was demand for them. The price went way up. They're waiting to get these things. They get them. They realize they don't like them. They turn around and sell them, and it floods the market and so on and so forth. So it looks cool in the movies sometimes, guys, but then when you get it and you find out what mags cost or ammo or, you got the little girly wrists and you can't handle it or it's too heavy or whatever it is, then, if there's a way you can rent this thing or something similar to it first, you might want to do that before you fork over Well, what are they going for now? The 29 Classic? Yeah, they're $1,800 before you fork that over because you want to be dirty. And that's for the new production ones with people don't like them because they got the keyhole in them or whatnot. So
yeah.
The Hillary
Defense
hole.
that out there real quick. Brenton from Miami Vice. Brenton, another classic. So, yep.
Yeah.
Goose, what's up?
It's the Hillary hole.
But, what's funny is the same person will say, I don't want to get a Smith & Wesson brand new production one because it's got this hole in the back of it. When Taurus revolvers came out, they all had that. I don't know if they still do, but Taurus revolvers used to come with a set of keys. So
yeah, my Rossi carbine had that lock system on it also, and then also the PT-111 G2s. I think the original G2, the first runs of them had that locking thing, and then they finally took it off. So,
yeah.
Well, hey, Single Shot, can you turn off your camera because it's flashing? The glare's coming across really bad.
The reason some of them had the Hillary holes before others is all the ones you said that had it earlier were imported, and they needed to have the number of points to get imported. Remember that?
There you go.
Oh, yeah, it's part of like 922R.
Yeah.
No, it's not 922R. To have a pistol imported,
it has to have safety features and sporting features on it, like a rear adjustable sight. And
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for explaining that, Foos, because I forgot about that. You're right. Yep.
All right, Foos, we're over to you now. Another iconic movie gun you can think of. Anything pop up?
The gun from Battlestar Galactica, the newer one.
Man, I don't have any of these ready to go. You keep coming up with all these. All right, so we're talking from BSG, the newer series, or what?
Ooh, that's like the new Ghostbusters. Really?
I like the early 2000s version of it. So
yeah, it's because you weren't born when the original one was out. I used to watch it on.
I had some of the toys from
ABC,
it, but
I think.
Look, I was 2 when it came out. Here, we'll just go ahead and show the tab on this one. So these weren't based. This wasn't based off of any actual firearm, right? This was just strictly sci-fi movie gun, which is what we're also talking about today too, because they were inspired by. No, they might have been based off of something.
The rifle.
Oh, the rifle. Okay, I got you. Yes. There we go. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So the new ones were based off the CX4 in the show. Mm-hmm. Talking about the classic one, the Cylon gun. Is that what it was? Or is it the gun that the good guys carried?
Good guys.
Here's this one right here. The Eastern Alliance rifle. I'm trying to find some images for it, but there's just not much out there.
I thought it was off the X4 Storm.
Oh, the PX4. So you're talking about the newer series, the 04 Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a CX4 basically. Yeah. There's the laser rifle. Looks like this is from the vintage series. Yeah, so this is that kind of waffle pattern looking thing or whatever, which is what we just saw earlier. Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, I need to watch that because here you go. Well, that's kind of what they look like, but yeah. There's a Cylon rifle, but
yeah, I know. I'm a geek.
No, it's all good. Like I said, I watched a lot of sci-fi when I was a kid, but if it was like late 70s, there's a pretty good chance I haven't seen it yet. So, Chris Winsett out there says Crockett's Bren 10 and shoulder holster. Definitely another good choice. Yep. All right, let me go ahead and move on to the 800-pound gorilla in the room, so to speak, or elephant, so to speak. The one that we all want to see. My probably one of my favorites. This is one of the ones that really kind of made me into a firearms fan. Your M41A pulse rifle. I mean, nothing makes me want to spend $300 more on a movie prop than this gun right here. And there are people that have made actual firing versions of these, like actual firearm versions from this gun. So the pulse rifle from Aliens, it's got the sweet round counter on the side, which is one of the first times I ever saw that. Made from a Tommy gun, and also the Spas 12, the Franke. Is it Franke? Is that right? The Franke Spas 12, or Spas 12, as my friends and I called it in high school. This right here is probably one of the ultimates. It's one of those ones I want so bad, just to have it like just sitting on the mantle, They made a Nerf gun, like a full-size replica Nerf gun with a round counter on it. Granted, it's not in these cool colors, but they actually made that as a limited run. They were like either 80 or $120, but they were full electric Nerf guns that were modeled after these. I don't know if the undershot gun would fire a Nerf dart or not, but it did have the round count and stuff. So that's it for me right there. The pulse rifle shot a 10 millimeter caseless round. Had no idea what that meant when I was 7 years old when I saw the movie. Had a grenade launcher on the bottom. So, any thoughts on this one, guys? Does this have any special place for you at all or not? We can take that as a no.
No, not really.
All right, so the Aliens pulse rifle. The sound that it
really
made
cool.
when you fire it, I wanted one so bad when I was a kid. What's that?
Yeah, it's really cool though. I mean, I do like it a lot.
Yeah. And you can spend tons of money on the props, but yeah.
No bayonet lug, no select fire capability. That's kind of what I didn't like about it.
Marines, Foos, they'd whip out a K-bar if they needed to use the bayonet, right? They wouldn't go charge into battle. This was all about, being as lethal as possible. So,
That was not Foos who said that.
Oh, okay. All right. Squib. That's right. I do that every time you guys are together in the same lobby. I don't know why. You don't even sound identical. Geez. So yeah, Nerf.
We're gonna have to try to play some joke on them and Thunder on the Prairie next year.
Just don't tell me, and I'll just keep calling Foos Squib and Squib Foos. So I don't know if you guys can see this. Oh, you can't see this one. Let me stop sharing this one, and then just real quick. So if you are the ultimate, kind of movie geek and stuff, you could get one of these, and you could, in theory, repaint it. Here you go. This was the limited run Nerf pulse gun that you could get from Aliens. It was basically a full-size replica. There you go. Came with the grenade launchers, and it had its own rounds and stuff. Oh, just absolutely awesome. Round counter on it. But then you can go onto like Etsy, and you can buy movie prop versions. There's tons of them for sale. You can spend some of these run over $1,000 for a movie prop. Yeah, that one's okay. That one looks like it's made from. There you go. Oh, look, they show you how it works. Check it out. Look at that. Got the grenade launcher on it. Oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm just totally geeking out here. So for me, that's one of the earliest ones that really kind of made me a fan of firearms that I can remember seeing. There was some other ones that we're going to talk about too. So, all right. So let's, game over, man. Game over. There you go. Last famous words. Oh, Tommy Gun says they also made that as an air rifle. As like an airsoft gun or a pellet gun, BB gun, Tommy Gun? What is it? Kevin June says a working version that has to end up in my collection. Yeah, there are. If you go online, you can see actual firing models of the M41 that were actually marketed and stuff. So, all right, let's go ahead and take it around the room again. Single shot, you got any more you want to mention?
I'm not sure. I've really not thought much more past what I already have. I do have a suggestion, though.
Go right ahead.
While I don't have much shade passing by here. You're going to need one of these right here if you're going to consider shooting high-powered, big-bore handguns.
Is that your grip strength builder? Is that what that is?
Grip strength, and that
you need to get the ones from the 80s that all the jocks would have with the springs in them with the plastic handles on them.
This thing will go up to 88 pounds.
Oh my God!
So
that'll help you. That'll help you handle that. That actually is not a bad idea for just fatigue prevention when you're on the firing line or running through a drill or just in general, just being able to more steadily hold the firearm. Yeah,
and I'm working 10 reps on my right, and then I'll shift to the left, and I'll go back to the right for 10 more, and then back to the left.
Cool.
That usually covers it for about a day and a half, and I'll go back at it because I'm one that has a lot of strength in my hands anyway. Because I do shoot a lot of big bore, but you really got to have that strength to hang on to some of these big bore hand cannons.
Absolutely. I know they make it look so easy in the movies, don't they?
It's not.
Ghost Tactical's joining us. He says Star Wars made the blaster famous. Yeah, we talked about Han Solo's blaster last week. We might have showed off some of the Stormtrooper blasters. A lot of those were made from World War II guns. Like one of the MG 32 or 42, whatever was the MG. Was made I remember the ice troopers or whatever had those with their backpacks and stuff, and the basic Blast Tech Stormtrooper rifle, also the blaster. Those things are awesome. Very cool. So Ghost Tactical's joining us today too, everybody.
Hey Ghost, I know the Germans used to call that MG42 the German buzzsaw. German buzzsaw.
It would wind up. That's what it would sound like. Yeah.
Yeah. And they had a major problem. They jammed a lot.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't ever do that in the movies, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll go ahead and move on. I'll tell you what. We'll go round robin here in just a sec. Here's another classic. I remember seeing this one. I think this was in the original Terminator, the SPAS 12. Let's see, Squib. Have you ever fired one of these or not?
Nope.
No, I've never fired one. I've seen plenty at the gun shows back when they were more readily available and a lot less expensive. I should have picked one up, like so many other ones that I passed up on. Like, yeah. And now you don't see them as often, and the prices are really high. I've heard though that they aren't as cool as they look. They're not very comfortable to shoot. They're not really, the fold up stock is kind of nice because it's tactical or whatnot. But I'd probably want the version with the fixed stock, the synthetic fixed stock, because that folding stock is probably going to just dig right into your shoulder.
I wonder how parts availability is for these also, because they stopped making them in 2000. It's been out of production for 20 years, and everything's going to be proprietary inside. It's a pump action, which you can flip between pump and semi-auto when you're shooting it. Don't know why, but maybe ammo control, or maybe, I don't know. It was kind of an odd design, but definitely a classic that you saw in a lot of different movies when, like in the 80s and 90s and stuff like that.
It was in Beverly Hills Cop 2. It was in Terminator. Wow. Okay. That they used 2 of them on every pulse rifle, right?
Yeah. Well, was there 2 or 1? I think it was just 1 for the lower.
He said it was a dummy on top and a real one on the bottom, because it's over and under 30 millimeter grenade launcher. Pump action grenade launchers is what Hicks said. So they might only needed 1 that actually worked. It's Hollywood after all, right?
Yeah, absolutely. JH586 says, one gun I would love to buy is Barney 5 Smith & Wesson Highway Patrol revolver. It was only fired by accident. So, yep. Let's see.
I got some Marvin rifles for sale. Never been fired and only dropped once.
Yeah, exactly. Lever action on Back to the Future 3 with that funky optic.
Yeah.
I remember that. We'll have to look that one up here in a little bit. Yeah. Oh, the Ghostbusters Proton Blaster. I wanted one of those so bad when I was a kid. So when they had the costume that came out in the 80s with the backpack, and I wanted one of those. I think it was great. It was more of like a laser lasso than anything to harness the ghost to put him in the trap,
It was a unlicensed positron glider.
Is that what they called it? Is that what it was?
Yeah. He was like, hey, there's nothing to worry about. All of us are wearing an unlicensed nuclear reactor on our back, and at some point they called it a positron glider, so whatever the heck that means. So
let's see. Squib. Any other ones that you can think of? Any other ones you want to mention? Because I still have a couple more tabs open we haven't talked about. But yeah, go ahead.
I'll go back to we touched on it a little bit talking about the GAU 2 is the M60E3 in particular. I mean, the M60 overall, I know they don't use it anymore, but that was something I saw in all the Vietnam movies and stuff like that. And that was just so Rambo 2, never saw it. I saw the end scene where he takes it off the pintle mount on the Huey, and he goes in there and he one-hands it, and he screams and yells, and he's shooting one-handed, and he's holding the belt in one hand and the machine gun in the other. Yeah, okay. So the first chance I got, I hooked a bunch of belts of ammo together, and I tried it, and I'm going, hey, this works. So I started doing that on the regular. I would hook, 3 belts of ammo together, and I would just one-hand this thing. And at first it kind of kicks in, it's a little bit jumpy, and then it kind of just smooths right out. And I'm not saying you're going to get the same kind of fire you're going to get, having it on a tripod and using a traverse and elevation device and all this other stuff, and trying to actually get some sort of accuracy out of it. But in a pinch, if you had enough ammo, you could, keep people's heads down. So, I used to like to go out there whenever we could get on the range and just horse around with stuff. I would try to do stuff like that. So it really does work. Some of the things you do see in the movies.
Here you go. Remember the Rambo poster for First Blood Part 2? Had an RPG in the barrel of something that kind of looks like an M60. So
there's kind of some sort of hybrid design there, but I mean, the M60E3 itself in particular, I saw it in Predator, and I saw it, or I saw the clip at the end of Rambo 2, because I never watched the whole movie where they used it. I'm not sure what other ones they might have used it in. The M60s in general, though, I got this Fire, the D, which is a lot like the Vietnam era one, except it's meant to be mounted on an aircraft. We had them on the aircraft, but we decided we'd put them on the back of Jeeps. And the thing is, we didn't have spare barrels for them, so we couldn't fire a lot because we'd overheat them. It's one thing they don't show in the movies is these guys changing out barrels and other things like that or whatnot. But yeah, the M60 is definitely iconic, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I shot one. I used to carry one, carried a tripod, five belts of ammo, the hot mitt, and it's very easy to change that barrel. All it's a matter of clearing the firearm, flipping a lever, and pulling the hot one out with the mitt, and putting the other one back in there, flipping that lever back the other way. You're done.
So the mitt, think of the glove, okay? This is a big cooking mitt that's got an asbestos liner in there to protect you from burning your hand. Now, I had the later one that had the handle built onto it. So you throw the lever, grab the handle, pull it off. There's no mitt anymore. But what he's talking about, we did have those barrels for our crew served ones. But with the helicopter flying, the slipstream of the air going past the helicopter keeps the barrel cool. It ain't like on the ground where, unless you're fighting in a windstorm, yeah. So that is something. In the movie Hamburger Hill, you see how they're running out of ammo, and they got guys running ammo to the machine gunner and stuff like that, and they're having to cross all these fields of fire to get them more ammo. The guys yelling, more ammo, stuff like that. So sometimes they do put some of that stuff in the movies. You get an appreciation for it, but some of these things look bigger and heavier than they really are, and other things really are that heavy.
Yeah. Defense Set out there says, if you grew up in the 80s with the A-Team, lie to me and tell me you didn't want a folding stock Mini 14. I think that was a little too blingy for me. Wasn't it like a stainless and black or stainless and wood?
Yeah, it was stainless and wood. It was really nice
Very
looking.
Cool. It was. It was.
I never liked the A-Team.
No, I remember watching it when I was little. I can't really remember any particular episodes, but I watched it quite a bit. But yeah, I had the toys from it and stuff. God. Foos, give us another gun. Something that comes to mind.
Foos didn't watch the A-Team. He watched the watered down version where they outsourced everybody. They were called the B Team. They carried high points and and Kel-Tec.
Foos, you got another gun for us?
Come back to me. I need to think.
All right, I got one on standby. We got to mention this one because we didn't get a chance to mention it last week. Hillbilly Up, you got one for us?
Yeah, just because I seen New York Outcast out there, so I had to throw this in. Captain America, Soldier, Winter
Soldier.
Yeah, Winter Soldier. Nick Fury, he carried an M&P.
Oh yeah, they did all on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. All the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., including Nick Fury, they all had M&Ps, and then Hydra agents all carried FN 57s. And they also had P90s.
Hydra had budget.
Hydra had budget. Because I remember seeing that because I watched almost every episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I always recognized. I was like, they had P90s. Now they did carry some M4s and stuff, but they had P90s and they had the 5.7 pistol, whatever their FN pistol's called that shoots that round. So yep, that's a good one. All right, so here's what we have next. We have got. How could we miss this one, guys? I mean, honestly, the Beretta 92. Die Hard, Lethal Weapon, a classic. It doesn't matter which one it was, but another great gun movie was Die Hard. Lots of good classics in that one. You had like the H&K or the wall through that Hans carried. I was going to show off the Steyr AUG next because Die Hard was one of the first movies where I actually saw one. I didn't know what that thing was. And again, I didn't really have the gun knowledge back then that I do now. So now when I watch it, it's like, I recognize that. I know what that is. Yeah.
When I saw Die Hard and Lethal Weapon, I thought the 92 was cool, but I really didn't want it. And then, Taurus comes out with their clone, and I'm like, well, it's a little bit less expensive. Maybe I'll get the Taurus one. I mean, I was young at the time and still wasn't even old enough to get one, but I'm thinking down the road. And then when I got out to the fleet, they issued me a sidearm, and it was an M9, and I'm like, oh man, I was pointing in the back going, can I have one of the 1911s in the back? Because they, on our side of the base, we didn't have enough 9mm ammo. We had tons of brand new guns, but not enough ammo for them. So they were still carrying the MPs and stuff. Were still carrying the 1911s, and I wanted one of those. I didn't want to carry those 9mm and whatnot. And then I used it and whatnot, and it was really ergonomic. And I ended up getting an M9 when they ran their second batch of M9s for civilian sale. Now you can just go down to the store and buy them, but back in the day you couldn't get them. And they have the serial numbers and NSNs and all the other stuff stamped on. It's just a 92 FS, but When the first batch came out, I was too late. I missed them before they all sold out. When the second batch, I bought one, and I got it because that's what I carried in the service. But even though that looked cool in the movies, that was actually one of the ones that I was like, yeah, it's great to see in the movies, but I don't want one of those 9mm. Now, it just something changes when you handle it, right?
Movie poster trigger control, just always catch it. It's good to have your finger on the trigger with a gun that close to the face of two other individuals, and like right here, like. Every freaking movie poster, they never have, unless it's like a military movie and they've had some kind of training, but like every movie, now this is trigger control shooting up through the table. That's when you need trigger control. Not when you're posing for the camera with Danny Glover, I mean, seriously.
Did you guys ever roll back the videotape and count how many times they shot and go, nope?
The number of revolvers would shoot 12 to 18, easy. No. It's, and then they'd run out when they get right in front of the bad guy and pull the trigger. Then they'd run out, or the gun would jam,
Or the Glock would go click, 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 click.
Yeah, the Glock has a hammer. Every gun. Well, the reason why we asked the movie armorer, why do you guys do that? And he said, well, because for 90% of the viewing audience, which is not gun people, that hammer click creates anxiety with the watching audience. So they don't care if it's a semi-auto, striker fired, whatever. They're going to make a hammer sound when somebody pulls a gun on somebody. He goes, 90% of the people that watch it, they don't sit there and go, oh, that's inaccurate. There's no hammer on a Glock. They don't know. They have no clue. So they just think that's what it is, I thought that was kind of funny when he pointed that out. Only us gun guys actually make a big deal out of it and ruin the movie viewing experience with our significant others, You
think about it when they're loading magazines, when they're racking the slide, when they're cocking the hammer, everything they do, even flipping the safety, whatever it is, right? There's always a clicking noise. I'm not going to lie. I try to intentionally make the gun as loud as possible because I always like the noise.
Somebody comes in the front door,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're cocking that single action. You hear click, 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 click. They got the 3-click and the 4-click. The historically accurate one is 4-click. That sort of thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Hey, Travis.
Yo, what's up?
You know what the international language of a shotgun is?
The sound of the first round being chambered.
Exactly.
Yep, just
that gets immediate attention.
Well, it gives away your position. So some people say you shouldn't do that, but I think that really gets people's attention because we're so trained to it, especially if you watch any movies where you've heard a pump shotgun being pumped, Yeah, that's the international language of love for the 12 gauge. So, yep. Another classic that I only really remember seeing in, I'm sure this has been a million movies. If you look up International Movie Firearms Database, you can look up any gun and see what movies these were in. But the Steyr from Die Hard that Carl carries, first time I ever saw one. It's kind of funny. He was in the body bag when he pops up at the end, and he's got his AUG in his hand. I mean, the EMTs didn't think for a second to pull the AUG out of his hand when they load a body into a body bag. But anyway, I guess he couldn't have made that scene. I digress. The Steyr A3. This would be another bucket list gun just to have one. I could care less about the trigger. I could care less about the price. Just to have a bucket list gun. I need to actually shoulder one of these to see how they feel. They get these up at Shields once in a while for about $2,000. So
always wanted one.
Yep, there we go. The Steyr, guys, that's another one from me. So if you guys think of any, just interrupt me and we'll bring them up. I'm just going to keep going through the list so we don't have to do this as a part 3. The next one, and I think one that kind of inspired Colt to kind of bring them back into production just because of the popularity, or the Anaconda or the Python. Yeah, the Python was another one that came up last week we didn't get a chance to look at. So from The Walking Dead and probably a million other movies, the 357 Magnum Python, definitely a classic. I've never shot one. Have you guys ever shot one of these before? Are they awesome?
Yep.
Anybody have any?
Yes, sir. I like the Anaconda too.
Yeah, definitely.
Big brother to that. And that thing is so nice because that heavy underlug barrel, it prevents that thing from jumping a lot. The gun.
It does a huge amount of recoil mitigation. As long as you got a good grip on it, the shock you actually feel through when you fire it. The actual definitely kick from it and stuff. It's the bigger the better. New York Outcast says the squealing tires on dirt. That's another one, man. Because anybody that's ever that's all the sound your car makes when you peel out on gravel and dirt, and the sound of the gravel bouncing off your car. But in the movies, man, you punch it just, Oh man. What do you have? New York Outcast says it's the same with cars. I love how they constantly have another gear to downshift as they do 120. Yeah, like Fast and Furious with the 25 speed transmissions in their cars. They just kept shifting. losing 5-speed. It's a Honda Accord. It's going to wrap out at 85 miles an hour, right? You're going to be in 5th gear going 4,000 RPMs at 85 or maybe, but anyway. So again, we got to mention the Colt. We definitely have to mention that one. Definitely another classic that's out there. Another one I want to throw out there, and I've got a couple sci-fi guns coming up here. When I was a kid, one of the Westerns that I remember that influenced me the most, or one that I would watch all the time, I actually had it on VHS. Here we go. If you guys have ever seen the movie The Wild Bunch by Sam Peckinpah?
Yep.
That's a classic. This was the M1917 Browning 30-06. So what was unusual about The Wild Bunch, what really caught me off guard on this one, it was one of the first movies I remember seeing with like a Western with semi-automatic firearms. Okay.
Yeah.
Second, the 1911s. The 1911s were in this because this was taking place like in 1919, 1920. I think there's even cars in it. Yeah, because Mapache, the general, gets like a Rolls Royce or a Mercedes, and he's drunk and he's doing loops around his little acreage. So I remember that being one of the first movies seen in 1911 in what's considered a Western, and that's because the Wild Bunch, they got a bunch of U.S. Army outfits to go do a robbery, train robbery, and they had all the weapons too. And Mapache points out that they've got 1911s, which are not for civilians. He thought it was interesting that they had those guns. But yeah, that Browning 1917 Chamber in 30-06, that's definitely a classic. There's all kinds of scenes with it. It's actually one of the main characters in the movie. You guys have never seen The Wild Bunch, man. It's R-rated. It's not a kid's film, but it is a wicked Western, man. I mean, it's its own beast altogether. I remember seeing that thinking, they made movies like this in like 1970? Really? I don't remember what year it was, but maybe 73 when The Wild Bunch came out. I can't remember, but yeah. I can't remember. Oh, man. All right, let's go ahead and close that one out there. The next one that we have, and this was a Defense Dad request, and this is another sci-fi one for you fans out there. You guys ever seen the series Firefly, which was very short-lived? A lot of steampunk-style guns where you had a lot of vintage guns that were kind of mocked up in like a future kind of feel. A lot of revolvers and stuff like that. This is Vera. Yeah. This was what James Hobbs. It looks like it's a freaking 4570 AK thing. I don't know what you call it, but it was awesome. Very, very awesome from the show. Foos, did you like Firefly? You Firefly fan? I'll be in my bunk. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I bet you could probably. I'm sure you can buy these online. There's probably kits. The one that was shown in here, you could actually buy it as a finished kit that you basically had to paint yourself and put it together. So yeah, you got. I love that ammo storage in the stock. I mean, what a great use of space. What a great way to do it. Yeah. So DIY Vera prop gun. There you go. If you look around, you can find. Oh, that one doesn't look very good, but it's a good effort. It's a good effort. But yeah, pretty much when it comes to prop guns, whatever you want to spend, you can basically make happen. So that's another classic, right? And then also the revolvers they had in it and how they modified them and stuff was pretty cool. So let's see, what do we got out there? Let's see if there's anything else. Lone Ranger pistols, yeah, the Lone Ranger revolvers. Yep. The P7. Did we talk about the P7? Isn't that the H&K, the one with the squeeze safety on it? The P7, we had mentioned that. Yeah, I think wasn't that Hans Gruber's gun from Die Hard? I can't remember. We're talking the P7. I'm totally drawing a blank here. So
the Bond gun's always good.
Oh yeah, the PPK. Yeah. Was it always a PPK, or what was the evolution of the original Bond gun? It was a Walther PPK, right? Or what were some of the earlier? Let's see. The guns of James Bond.
Don't recall. I know that was chambered.
Because was it originally like the very first one was a 32, wasn't it, or was it a 380? I can't remember.
32.
I thought 80, I think.
Okay. The original Bond gun. So yeah, we've got. Okay, I can go ahead and bring this up real quick. You guys can see it. So yeah, we did mention some of the Bond guns. I remember the MP5 from the newer version of Casino Royale was also one of my favorites. That just looked awesome. Here we go. So, give me a sec here. Thought I'd mute up before I sneeze on camera. So okay, we've got the James Bond guns. Yeah, that's a German model PPK pistol. 6 hour. Did he carry a P229? I don't remember that. That's what I don't like about some of these websites. They don't really show you what's going on. But again, the PPK definitely kept sales popular because of the Bond gun. Everybody wants one, right? Because the Bond can hit anything at 40 yards away with it. So can I. So that's a good one. Let's see
Yeah,
what
with
else
the
we have
little
here.
sights of a PPK.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And you can buy them now. Don't they make them? They make them in the USA, right? Don't they make them in Arkansas? Isn't Walther set up in Arkansas or something?
Oh, well.
They have like a USA factory.
Set up there. They don't make a whole bunch of guns there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, most of the Walthers are still imported.
Okay. Of course, the Deagle, the Desert Eagle. RoboCop was one of the first movies I remember seeing that had a Desert Eagle in it, which they've been around for a very long time. 50, Action Express, or I've shot 44 Magnum. I borrowed one from Stan and did a video with it. It was just awesome. It was so much fun to shoot. They do actually have a list of recommended ammo that you run through it. They say for function, we've tested it with this ammo. You'll have the best reliability. Interesting, kind of almost like an AR style kind of bolt carrier group and piston system that they use.
Yeah.
I did a cleaning video on one. If you guys ever want to see what it looks like to take apart a Deagle and clean it, it's way different than pretty much anything you've ever tried before. It has its own like gas port with it. It gets filthy too because all the gas gets routed up to the front. So cleaning it just takes forever. But my God, you want to talk about a fun gun to own? This is definitely, I think, a bucket list gun that most people should have out there.
Yeah, they're kind of out of stock. They're kind of out of stock right now if you're shopping for one. In Universal Soldier, they had 357 Magnum Desert Eagles.
I have akimbo those.
Yep.
Maybe mine was no. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Foos.
I've shot twin double 50 AEs at the same time.
What's it feel like? What's the actual recoil impulse?
That's
like
a hammer.
Is a 50 AE really that punishing, or
so?
It's going to be heavy. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe like a hot 45.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's so much mass in there.
What you feel more than anything is just kind of the slingshot of the slide more than the actual recoil of the round. Like just that amount of like that pound and a half of steel, like rotating back and forth moves your hand more than even the round. I think mine was in a 357 mag that I tested on the channel. I don't think it was a 44.
That Wildy 475 is a handful too. A friend of mine down in Texas had both of them. I wish he'd have would have remembered me in his will because I'd love to have got my hands on both of those pistols.
They're Desert Eagles. They chamber in that also.
Yeah, 44.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He had the 44. He had the first 44s gave a lot of trouble about jamming.
Okay.
But if the 50 AE, the 44 Magnum, was loaded with blue dot powder, that's what they recommended. Was blue dot powder to be used in that. But that 475 Wildy, same thing, blue dot powder. And that's got an adjustable gas system on it too.
Yeah.
That's a handful.
They're cool guns. I mean, just to hold one, they just look awesome. I did not want to give that. The one that I had was just a simple Parkerized or blued finish. It wasn't anything. Well, I think it was either Parkerized. I think it was Parkerized. But just a fun gun to play with, a fun gun to shoot. And I mean, you can get them at gun shows. They get them once in a while at Shields. You're going to pay probably what, $1,500 for one now, $1,400 for just a basic model.
Yeah.
Is that maybe a little overestimating it? You can go on Gun Broker. I'm sure you can find them for maybe a little bit cheaper.
The one I had was a Target model that between 44 mag and 50 AE, and the other one was a stainless 50 AE.
Did they sell? You could get a both kit where you got both barrels, couldn't you? Or like both barrels on both sides or something.
If you get the 44 model, you could buy a conversion kit to the 50 AE. But if you have the 50 AE, you can't go away from 50 AE.
Oh my God, they have one with a color case hardened finish for $2,200. That is so tempting.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, that's the bids. No, you can buy them for $6,000. Oh my God, for color case hardened finish Deagle and 50 AE. I'm seeing almost $2,000 right now. $1,700 for a basic black one. Yeah.
Yep. You ever seen that 50 AE Desert Eagle that was tiger striped?
Oh yeah. That was actually just up on the
gorgeous.
That's like the Call of Duty, that's like the standard classic that everybody wanted to get, the gold tiger stripe Deagle. Yeah. Kevin Jung says, I've seen some pop up on Texas Gun Trader, but they want $2,000. Kevin, is that for the color case hardened finish? I'm a sucker for that. I don't care what it's on. I don't care if it's on a Heritage Rough Rider or my lever action. I love the color case hardened finish. It just has this nice instant patina to it that just makes it look like a classic. So Howling Wolf out there says he loves his Walther PPQ. Yep. All right, I just have a couple more, and then we're gonna wrap up. This is another one that came from the chat out there. Another one that came from the YouTube side. The Revolver from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, which was an interesting movie because I thought it was going to be a cartoon. It was an incredibly dark, brooding film that was not happy at all. It was basically, you had cartoon characters that were living in the real world with human beings, right? Yeah. But I do remember the Revolver because the detective opens up. He has the bullets. They start coughing because they haven't been used in like 50 years. They jump into the cylinders. Yeah. Each bullet had its own little thing that it did. Like the Native American had the tomahawk that would chop the bottle in half. I mean, they had, it was pretty sweet. Yeah, this was I don't know if this was a prop made for the movie or a toy or a promo. $333 if you want to buy this one over on Etsy or wherever it's at. So the Revolver from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That might have started my love of revolvers too. I don't know. I wanted one of those so bad. I just thought that was awesome. I did have a Daisy revolver. It was all metal. Revolver pellet gun, CO2 pellet gun that I had. That was a lot of fun to shoot too. So. So yeah, we got to mention the Roger Rabbit revolver with bullets in the case. So that's definitely a classic. Got to add that one on the bucket list. That one's got to happen. And the last one I want to mention, if you guys have any that pop up here at the end, this isn't exactly, so it's not exactly like a gun, but it was another one of those little iconic weapons that was used in movies. And I'm just totally avoiding the topic for today. The Commando rocket launcher. The M202 Flash. Squib, was this a real thing? Was this an actual rocket launcher used? I'm seeing 66 millimeter flash.
So it's 4 M72 laws tied together. My understanding is it was a real thing, but I've never actually seen one except in the movies. I think they had problems with it, so
this might have been some.
I don't know if that's a spent one. Right. I don't know if that was a spent one that they just managed to get their hands on, or if they just tried to duplicate it, make it look like that. But my understanding is it was something they tested, but it just didn't work out.
Okay. Not a bad idea, though. I mean, to have 4 rockets on standby. So, look at this. Here you go. Look. Phone cover. That's awesome. Yeah. So anyway, that's definitely one of those ones. I remember seeing that, thinking, "What is that thing?" Where did he get that one? He didn't get that from like the gun store, did he?
A lot of
did he pick that one up on the battle? I haven't seen Commando since I was a kid. I need to watch that one again. So yeah, there we go. That's definitely another classic that's out there. What's that?
A lot of Derringers made the movies too.
Oh yeah, Bad Boys. There was the 4-barrel Derringer. Doesn't G-Webs have one of those?
Yep.
Yeah, because he pulls it out at the end, and then Martin Lawrence saves Will Smith by shooting the main bad guy, because he whips it out, and you see the chrome flash across the screen in that traditional Michael Bay style with the music slowing down, and then he takes him out. Yeah. So Tim S says the Law rocket launcher from Commando, definitely classic. All right. So anyway, guys, we're going to go and wrap it up. We've been talking for a little over an hour now, the Guns of Hollywood Part 2. So, Foos, I'll talk to you after the show about next week's topic. I'm just kind of curious to see if you'd be around for it. We could just do an hour if you can make it happen. But we're going to go ahead and let this one expire for today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Thank you so much for watching. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe. I'm dropping a video every Wednesday, basically, after 4 o'clock. So make sure you check out the channel. I've been putting a lot of videos up. You may not be getting the notifications, so go to my channel and scroll back. We've been doing a lot of firearms tests on the channel, a lot of ammo tests on the channel, too. I did test some Bellum ammunition through the Ruger American Ranch Series rifle, 7.62x39, a very good ammo, brass case, reloadable, Serbian, if I'm not mistaken, manufacturer ammo. Good stuff, comes in a really cool container too. And then also I am going to be putting up my video for the JTS 12-gauge shotgun test. I ran like 10 different types of ammo through it at the range to see how well it would cycle. I also talk about the gas valve system on it that you can adjust to basically tune it to run whatever ammo that you have, which is really sweet. Good stuff. Howling Wolf out there says, liked and subbed. Howling Wolf, welcome. You got a lot of catching up to do, but I appreciate you being here today. So thank you for being here. Anyway, let's let the panel go ahead and give us their outros, and then we will call it a day. Single Shot, anything you want to say before we go?
Well, just got passed by a nitro burning pulling tractor here. Somebody's got on the back of his trailer.
Oh, there you go.
Pretty cool.
Nice. Like a tractor pull contest. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Cracker
Sweet.
Pulse. I've
I
seen
love
them
watching
before.
those. I used
That's
to go
a
to
lot
those
of
when I was a
fun.
kid.
But everybody have a great day. This is a good chat, and I really enjoyed it. I thank you for the invite, and take care. God bless. America moves by truck.
Every day, man. I'm telling you. All right. Okay, Hillbilly up. Anything you want to say before we go?
Hey, buddy. I just want to thank you for having me on here. Great panel, great side chat. I just
Always,
really
man.
enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I just have several videos that's lined up and ready to come out. And so just very excited.
Cool. Guys, make sure you get over to American Hillbilly. Get over there and subscribe. Great channel. A lot of good content. Keeping America safe. One less can of hard seltzer at a time. So has White Claw contacted you yet about sponsorship at all or not?
No, not yet.
No? Okay.
No.
I guess us anti-hard seltzer guys just don't get any love, So there you go. All right, man. Appreciate you being here. Okay, Foos, anything you want to say before we go?
Not really. Just keep, shoot the guns no matter what.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, cost of ammo's coming down a little bit, so shoot it.
Heck yeah, get out there, go enjoy. I've been out the range the last 3 weeks in a row. I've just been enjoying the weather. It's been in the mid 60s out here. It's been cold in the mornings, but it warms up to about 60 or 70. It's been awesome. So good stuff.
I haven't shot outside yet for a while, but yeah, I've been shooting.
Cool.
Some.
Heck yeah. Bjorn out there says, so for my girlfriend, just the Colt Python and the Colt Trooper Mark III bought or is interested in or want. Bjorn, I think you mentioned this before. His girlfriend watched my video on the Colt Trooper Mark III and wants one. They had one for sale out of DE Guns here. They wanted $1,800 for it, which it looked really, really nice. You can get them for around 12 or 13 on Gunbroker. But yeah, the Trooper Mark III is such an awesome revolver. That's definitely up there. That's another bucket list gun. I got to quit mentioning these things or I'm never going to get one. Colt Python, obviously that's got to happen too. And last and certainly not the least, we've got the Squib Lift. Squib, anything you want to say before we go?
From a Second Amendment standpoint, TV and movie guns are they can be positive and negative. The negative side is that people believe some of this stuff, and then when somebody wants to buy the real thing, they think that they're an assassin, or they think that the thing is going to shoot through 10 houses or some of this other stuff, and it really doesn't help when you're trying to advocate for your Second Amendment rights when people are saying these are scary weapons of war or other things like that. On the other hand,
yet they own John Wick 1, 2, and 3. They watch
they watch the movies.
Weekend.
Their kids play the video games.
Play Call of Duty.
But
but when it's real, when it's around you, oh my God, we can't promote that kind of violence. We can't promote that kind of self-protection, right?
But on the other hand, you have kids growing up playing these video games, watching these movies, and then when they get older, they want to buy these things. And I've been at the store. I've been at the store and I've watched a young person who's now legally old enough to lawfully buy from an FFL go in there and the money they saved up buy this really cool looking whatever. It's not really practical, but it looks cool. It's in the video games and stuff, and I kind of like that. But then once they get it and they see that they've got to fill out the paperwork and pass the check and just all the other stuff, and then they start going down the rabbit hole stuff, there is the potential that they start to go, wait a minute, I was told these things are bad my whole life, and I'm not a bad guy. And then they have the opportunity, if they want, to kind of realize that if you want to keep this stuff around, you've got to get involved. So in some ways it can really hinder. In other ways, give somebody that catalyst to get them involved in everybody's right, whether you choose to use it or not. So sometimes it's cool seeing this stuff in movies and TV shows, and it's kind of nice to have a talk about it. I should probably do a better job of not pointing out all the movie mistakes when I'm just trying to sit there and shut up and enjoy the movie. But it is kind of it's something that I think it looks different to different people at different points in their life. If you don't own this stuff, if you've never actually shot this stuff, and you know somebody who's got it, go out to the range with them, shoot it, see how it really feels, feel how heavy it is, how loud it is or not loud, or it has kick, it has no kick. It's it's not so scary. It's not really. You don't have to necessarily go out and buy one and turn into some sort of civil rights kind of person or something, but just a little bit of experience with these things that we see in our entertainment every day kind of gives you a little bit more appreciation for what it takes to get them on the screen, or what it takes if somebody wants to own one in real life.
Yeah.
Tony out there was mentioning the Smith & Wesson 29, and again, Squib, you make a very good point about that. It can cast a positive or negative light, just on firearms in general and stuff, movies and guns and movies and stuff. But it is ironic that what we do for entertainment and what we listen to and what we see, and yet when it's in real life, they know you can't have it, even though we have every right to. But Tony out there had mentioned the Smith & Wesson 29 Dirty Harry. I think we had mentioned that one last week. I'm pretty sure we covered it last week, but we did look at the 629 this time. So yeah, obviously, we had mentioned it and covered it, just so we did not let one of the most iconic Hollywood movie guns of all time pass us by. So, all right, guys, I think we're all set. I think everybody had a chance to get their plugs in here, so we will go ahead and wrap it up. Bjorn says, sorry for the bad grammar this morning. No, I'm just glad you're writing in a way that I can even read, Bjorn. Don't worry about it, man. It's all good.
Hey, don't worry. He doesn't understand much anything. So.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. And before we forget, rnldisplays.com. Again, I just support these guys. Not a channel sponsor, but they make a fantastic product. Get over there, rnldisplays.com. I have the banner going across the bottom. They make fine furniture to display your fine firearms. So head over there. They do make pistol display stands. They've got PCC display stands. Yes, they're Glock compatible. They've got an AK stand. Squib, real quick, or not the AK? Is the AK stand ready yet or not? Do you know?
As far as I know, just with all the different ones we tested them on, or just some of the back and forth, it's all ready. I think he's got to set up a jig or something to. I think everything that he was messing with the prototypes is all done by hand. So he's got to make up a jig so he can replicate them.
Produce
something like that. Yeah. So I don't know where he's at with that. I know he's got other work going on. Different times of the year, he's got stuff he does as a contractor. So maybe if he gets a lull in that, he'll get that stuff going, because I'm kind of interested in picking up another one.
Cool. All right, man. We'll get those in production. We'll let you guys know when they're out there. But they do have the AR stands you can get, and a couple different finishes. They also have a wall mount with hardware that's included too, so you can mount it on the wall, so you can have your firearm displayed on the wall if you want to keep it there for quick access, or just to show it off, or whatever works best for you, whatever trips your trigger, so to speak. Bjorn out there says knowing 2 other languages other than English. No, Bjorn, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching today. We had Hillbilly up. We had Bjorn, AR Gun 776, Tony York's out there, New York Outcast, Tommy Gun watching today, the Armsman watching out there also, Howling Wolf. Again, Howling Wolf, welcome to the channel. Tim S out there, R4 Mississippi Thunder, American Hillbillies over there and over here too. Kevin Jung's in the house. A lot of people today. M. Gabriel was out there, Defense Dad, Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy, YNH. Just show a little love for everybody watching. Ghost Tactical is out there today too. He's hopefully still watching. Kingpin out there today too, talking. Let's see. He did have a pretty good comment. He goes, Hollywood makes the best guns. Then Hollywood should make all real guns. Yeah, right on. I know, right? Real guns in Hollywood, that'll never happen. JH556.
Well, I mean, they are. Haven't you heard about Rust?
Oh yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But those just go off by themselves, so you really have to watch out. Travis T out there also today. Chris Winsett watching. Vanessa Kitty in the house. Razor JB watching today too. So you had a lot of people out there. The Smoke was with us today too. So Irish Wrist Watcher watching today. YNH, that bearded guy. Tactical Fud. Good crowd today. All right, we're going to go ahead and Tim Allen. We're going tacos and French fries too. All right, we're going to go and wrap it up. I want to thank everybody for watching. This has been episode number 254, season 5 of, again, America's greatest quality of life improvement podcast, The Caliber Corner. Thank you for watching. We'll meet again next Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time, as long as we got ourselves a topic, which I'm pretty sure we do. And we'll talk to everybody later. Have fun. Be safe. And as you know, we will talk to you soon. All right. Adios, everybody.